Welcome to the Parent Light with myself, Wendy Sexton, Alchemy Life Coach and Energy Healer, and Jennifer Peters.
Easter. I'm an intuitive family therapist.
We're really excited to be here with you. And we wanted to share, we were having kind of a private conversation that we decided needed to be a public conversation, especially in these times, especially after the last year. Um, so just again, our whole goal is to lighten the load for everybody. And I think a lot of the things that each of us deal with and each of our kids deal with, um, or our grandparents or our coaches or whoever it is, oftentimes we, for whatever reason, think, we're doing it alone. Um, and a lot of people are dealing with the same thing.
Yeah.
So Jennifer had some really great wisdom. And the topic we were talking about is suicidal ideation, which is a big deal in a lot of ways. And this past year, the numbers have gone up um, really high. And so something we just want to bring our light to. So Jennifer, what have you known in your experience around this topic?
Well, I know it's really hard when it's a child of yours or somebody you care a lot about. Children feel more vulnerable, I think, in that we always feel like we're supposed to protect them. And one of the things we were just talking about is how, young children are so playful and optimistic and lighthearted. And then as they go through puberty, they start to grow up and get more serious and think about what life's going to look like going forward. And with that, it is very common for kids to have some thoughts about suicide because, I've heard kids say, being a grown up doesn't look fun. I don't want to do that. I mean, so they really see how hard you might be working and the struggles, the stress. So that can really feel heavy for them and then just the pressure of deciding what they want to be when they grow up or the peer pressure from their friends, not feeling like they fit in. All of those things can lead children, I'm saying children, but teens generally, that to really think about, this isn't worth it. Like I can't, life's too hard. Or just not knowing how to do, like we were talking on a previous Parent Light about how it takes a lot of courage sometimes to speak your truth, to hold a boundary, all those things before kids know how to do it. It just feels like too much. So what I was saying is just how almost all teenagers have at least a fleeting thought of like, I don't really think this is good. I'm done. This is too hard with life. So I guess if your child or your child's friend, I mean, if anybody has those, speaks about a thought like that it's important to give them some room to talk about it and not panic that it means that they're, determined to end their life. Because most of the time it is just an overwhelm of all the heaviness, and finding anything that they're excited about can really help. So that was kind of, I don't think people realize how normal it is because everybody's so scared to talk about it, and talking about it won't make a child want to do it more. So it's not, so I've had people ask me that, is that gonna, if I bring it up, is that gonna put the thoughts in my child's head? And it's just not the way it goes. Like they're already trying to figure out who are they, what's meaningful to them in life, like what's exciting, what do they want to do? They're already thinking about life and how they're going to navigate it on some level. as a team. So, um, did you have Wendy?
Yeah, I think that really hit me when you talked about how it's almost more common to have the thought than to not, you know, that there's a less percentage of kids that never think of it. Um, and I think that goes along with, maturity level. And sometimes I know I've seen the tendency for adults to say, gosh, they have nothing to worry about, just school and sports or whatever activities they're involved in. But stepping back from that and seeing that, they don't have the life perspective that an adult has or an elderly person has. So the weight of the world feels a lot heavier to them sooner. And the stresses feel heavier than where our vantage point is, you know. Um, and I really think it is important that we normalize the ability to talk about it, um, and not shy away from it. Um, I know someone very personally that spoke up at their senior retreat. And this was years ago when there wasn't as much talk about it as there is now.
Mhm.
Um, and that 17-year-old girl, you know, she never got any feedback from teachers or counselors after she said it. And I think we've come a long way, and I think that'd be handled differently today.
Yeah.
But boy, that was a missed ball that was put out there where she opened her heart and, then felt like, well, doesn't matter. Nobody really heard me. So we'll
Yeah.
just put it
Like,
back inside.
well, and the normalizing it, like really understanding it's common doesn't mean ignore it. It means that it's, it, I mean, I think of it kind of simply of just life seems too hard. So then to engage in that conversation of what is so hard about life. And, um, I had a pact with a friend when I was growing up. It's like if it ever seemed too hard, we would help each other like run away and do something different. Like be, and that sounds, of course, kind of simple and naive, but the thought is like that there's another choice other than giving up, right? It's when kids don't feel like there's any other choice, and talking about it is one of those choices, like finding out it's more normal, and,
Mhm.
and putting a little focus. Okay, I'll bring up one thing that just popped in. I had one of my daughters struggling with life not being so fun, and part of it was about friends as in teenage years. And I gave her the option of we could change schools. Like, look, we'll figure it out. We'll go to a different school if if it feels too hard to go to this school with these people. And that was all it took, actually. I was like really surprised. It's like, oh no, I can do it. I can do it. If I know I've got an out, I can do it.
Yeah.
So that really felt more empowering, because I also think that teenagers often feel like um, that they have no control over their lives, that the adults, the teachers, the parents, the
Mhm.
coaches are just telling them what they have to do, and that they don't really get much autonomy. Like, and that can feel heavy, not to get to, so when I told my daughter, we'll find another school, let's start looking. It's like, oh, okay. If I have that choice, I feel better already.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest parts for me, with the people I've worked with is that need to know that they've been heard,
Yeah,
you know, and exactly what you said, that there's other options.
right.
Um, because sometimes, from their perspective and how far down in a hole they've climbed and how dark it feels, sometimes they can't see the light or see that, oh yeah, there's a door right there. Oh, I didn't know I could open the window. Sometimes we forget. And so we just need to open that conversation and allow someone else to let them catch the breath, you know. So I love that was really great, that you were able to bring that option to her and to see her response so beautifully.
Yeah, because what you said earlier about how it might look like their worlds are easy and they just have to deal with school or um, their friends or sports. But any one of those things can be so important to them, so much of their world if it's not going well.
Mhm.
So like it's hard to get a little perspective on it because it's their world. It's
Yeah,
yeah. So I felt like that's what pulling them out enough to look and say, oh, okay, where are the choices?
yeah. So hopefully this was helpful to somebody. We just want to keep those conversations open and let you know that um, there's nothing too much for us to um, try to add a little light to. And I think the more that we can open those conversations and, um, know that there's a ring of support on many different levels, um, that's where our tribe gets stronger, our village is stronger, and we can all be better parents, and our kids can feel a little bit more at home and more at ease with our help.
We're doing a workshop on April 12th, and that's a place you can bring some of the heavier things. Um, and one of the reasons we're creating this is so that parents can be with other parents, and that in itself lightens it. Like you can see that your problems that seem or struggles that feel like just yours, they're often like all parents are struggling with it. So that'll be a place to get some more personal attention on this. So we hope you'll join us. We'll
Yeah,
give you details in the comments below.
perfect.
Okay. And remember that you're already a better parent than you think.
Mhm.
We'll see you next time.
Um,